Yo! Hi! Welcome in, Justa. 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 Think I listened to Baby Metal's Chocolate Song. Since then, I jam to the Between the Song and Headbang That are my favorite. Papaya is also okay. Thank you for that. They are awesome. Baby Metal's been around for forever. For forever. It was like they were this huge deal because they were these cute little Japanese girls with this amazing metal music. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you today? How are you? I'm not bad. I got my tea that I'm drinking. And we're going to play a cute new indie game for a little bit. You're surprised me how long they've been here, right? They've been around for forever. Gosh, I've heard about them like, I don't know, 15 or more years ago, maybe. Let's look it up. Let's see how long they've been a band. How long has Baby Metal been a group? 2010. I was right. About 15-ish years. I was playing Boulder's Gate, but my power died, so now I'm sitting in the dark. Oh no! We don't want that. That's the worst. Hopefully you didn't lose any progress in your game when that happened. That's the worst. I hate it when that happens. Good time. So we're gonna play this really cute indie game that I got a free code for from Rogue Duck. And it's called Carefully Stamped. It looks really cute, and I have a couple of codes to give away later too. So we're gonna check this game out, do the giveaway, and then we'll play some Town to City. Power Issues, nothing new, just a 30-minute fight on hardest difficulty. No! Champagne on ice. One of my friends is in South Africa, and he talks all the time about the power issues they have there. So his power goes out all the time. House Town City, I love that game. It's so good. I'm addicted to it. I'm addicted to it. Fellow South African, let's go. Then you know exactly what I'm talking about. Talking about me, I'm not here so much hate. Oh, there's Kaz. Hi, Kaz. Did you have fun at your fancy movie premiere? You fancy pants, you? Oh, South African fam. Twas good. Kaz's partner is a kind of famous cosplayer in the area. So they get to go do amazing fun things like go to the Wicked premiere. I can't wait to see what Jean's dress looks like. It looked amazing. All the stuff that he was posting, they looked really cool. I can't wait to see what his dress looked like. I can't. I'm using it right now as my camera. I'm gonna freeze. I'll be frozen. Checking my phone. I don't know where WhatsApp is. Oh no! Did I not put WhatsApp on my new phone? Did it not transfer over? Where is it? Here it is. That's like it is. You're so right. Personally, I'm a pro at looking homeless. Let's go. Me too. Hold on, I have to log in. Same though? Yeah. Okay, here we go. It's a video. Ah! He looks fabulous! Oh my god! It's so good! Oh, it totally lost sync. One sec. I gotta reopen my VTuber, my VTube studio. It turned out, I love the skirt. It's so pretty. I need to go get food, but nothing is delivering because of the stupid rain. Oh, damn. That sucks. We're just freezing over here, so you know. Joburg is probably gonna wash away. Oh no! Don't say that. Let's see. Oh. Well, I gotta set up my sound stuff real quick. Some places the water went over cars? Damn. That's crazy. So like crazy flooding and stuff today, huh? Oh my gosh, I already love this game and I'm only in the settings. Alright, I'm gonna turn off Spotify so we can get the full effect of this game today. Look at this setting in here. We love this. ADHD autism filter. Less repeating sound effects and no alarms for people that get overstimulated by sounds. That's fucking cool. This is something you do not see in a lot of games. This is amazing. This is already a plus a million points in my book. Alright, oh, that's good. My Tims love that, right? Alright, so this game is called Carefully Stamped. I have not played it at all yet, so you guys are gonna see in real time me figuring out how this game works. But basically, the premise behind the game is you create cute postcards. Okay, enjoy foods. I'm gonna do a giveaway for this game in about an hour. I have 2 codes to give away. So I'm gonna play for a little bit and then we'll do the giveaway. And like I said, I never played this. I just know the premise. See you now. And yeah, so you're designing cute postcards to send to friends is what I know the game is about. And this game was sent to me by Rogue Duck. So thank you, Rogue Duck, for the free game code and for providing. If I disappear, it's my internet died. Oh, gotcha. And also thank you to Rogue Duck for providing 2 codes for me to give away on stream today. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. All right, let's go. Normal. Customers might ask you to exclude some design elements. You will need to be creative with limited pool of design elements. Hi, Muda. Oh, that's the first time someone called me auntie. Oh, I love that. Aw, shucks. Aw, shucks. Thank you. I like that. I prefer auntie over old lady. Curly of Nonsensical, welcome on in. Happy to have you. We're just getting started with this cute new indie game that I got for free from Rogue Duck. And they also provided me with 2 game codes. Oh my god, Nick, what is up? Hi, Nick. We're just getting started, actually. You're just in time. I was provided a free copy of this game, carefully stamped. So we're checking it out, and then I'm giving away 2 copies of this game in a little bit. So you guys stick around and check it out. Free in this economy, that's kind of sus, right? The price is you have to hang out with me until the giveaway. It is. Basic. I haven't played it at all yet, so you guys are getting a first look just like I'm getting a first look. All I know is we are going to design postcards. It looks really cute. We gotta hang out. I'm out. Bye. Muda! Alright, so we have 2 modes, normal and creative. Normal is we have a limited amount of decorations that we can choose from for each customer. And creative is customers won't ask you to use or exclude specific design elements. You are free to design any postcard. I think I'm going to do normal and make it a little more challenging. Welcome! This is your cozy postcard studio where we seal tiny memories in envelopes and let them travel the world. Ding! A customer just walked in. See the little bubble above them? That's their speech bubble, where they explain why they're here. Now click the bubble to open order details. Okay, I want a postcard that feels like the cat sat on every plate like it was part of the centerpiece. What? Okay, sure. Here you'll see the categories they want and don't want for this postcard. Match the check mark and avoid the X. Hi, Wambat! Devious cat, right? Alright, so no clothing or accessories, but they want pets and figurines. Oh, I can't read that. Kitchenware and tables and plants. I might wanna tell them about the tooltips being off the edge of the screen. Okay, your tablet, your tiny desk helper just lit up. Oh. Hi, Wambat! I can't remember if I said hi to you or not, so I'm saying hi again. Tablet. Shop unlocks new assets. Spend money you earn from orders. Unlocks are permanent. Postcards autosave every design you make. Select one to preview, then press export to save it to your computer. Stamps show your growing collection. Find stamp packs, unlock new stamps, and admire your finds. 7 stream streak. 7 stream streak. Did I say it right? I did. Quests are bite-sized challenges. Complete tasks and claim your rewards. All set. Close the tablet, then give the cutting mat a click to start designing a postcard. Okay. Okay, this is the shop where you can buy things. Oh, look at the bonsai tree. That's cute. I'm assuming we don't have money, so... Japan, outdoors, pets, sweets, tableware, furniture, plants, decorations, fall. Oh, cute. Oh, that scarecrow's cute. Pumpkin. Foods and drinks. A matcha mochi. That looks delicious. I want that. I want food. Pumpkin! Yeah, pumpkin. The cat is cute too. So we have fall and Halloween. Clothing and accessories, summer, Christmas, space, Bunny Planet! Is that where I'm from? Wait. How do they know? They're on to me. I just got back from returning stuff to Amazon, and my cat decided to have a 5-minute leg hug of, Dad, why did you leave me? Aw, the artist is cute. It is really cute. It's very, like, bubbly and cutesy. Spacesuit. Oh no, black hole. Alright, and then we have shapes and patterns. Magic and fantasy. There's a lot of categories. People. Postcard, envelope, tape. Oh, there's different tapes like washi tape. Bunnies. More bunnies. More bunnies. It's like washi tape. Do you guys know what washi tape is? It's like a... It's a tape that's... It's kind of like masking tape, but it's more like papery feeling, and it has really cute designs on it. I love washi tape. And this one's just everything mixed together. Okay, cute. Postcards. We haven't done any yet. Stamps. Halloween and cute Shiba. Aw, he's so cute. Quests. Okay. Alright. So now we click here. Pick a postcard, dress it with a background, sprinkle stickers wherever they feel right. Give it an official stamp, and then press envelope to whisk it to the sealing table. Ooh! Alright, so we have to do something with cat sat on every plate like it was part of the centerpiece. Okay. Autumn vibes. So we only have 2 available to us. Okay. Okay. I think I'm gonna do the autumn vibes one. And then what do I do? What'd she say? Stamp. Background? Okay, wait, so this is the front? Okay, we gotta choose a background. The beach. No, we're doing fall. Creepy background. Autumn background. That's cute. Space. Indoor background. Okay, these are the stickers we have available. Cat. So you only have a cat, a duck, and a turtle. Okay. Oh, we have a lot of stuff here. What is this? Oh, a single chopstick. And then we have some plants. Okay, so maybe we should be outside. Should we be outside? I guess. I guess so. Should we do water so we can put a duck? We can put a duck back there. Wait, how do I... Oh, I click and drag. He's huge! Can I make him smaller? Oh, I can. Look at that cute ducky! He's so cute! Look at him. I think I'm gonna do this plate. It's a big plate. Scale it down a little. And then we'll do this cup. Make it make sense, right? Alright, and then we need this cat butt. Okay, he can sit. Sit on the plate. And make the cat a little bigger. There we go. And I got some plants. You can put a tree. Like this, and then some flowers. Drink something? You got it. I have some hot tea I'm drinking. Orange cat giving the silent treatment, right? He's like, fuck you guys. Right? How dare you try to take my plate, right? We'll do some flowers, maybe? I'm gonna put them down here. No, I'm gonna put them over here. Like in the corner, kinda. And we'll put one of these here. Maybe. It's kind of big. I actually don't really like that. Alright, that's all we really have available to us. I don't think we'd use everything. This cat is cute. The calico one. So the toolbar up here has duplicate, remove, flip, change the order. Oh, okay, so this is if you want to put stuff behind other stuff, and this is to put stuff in front of other stuff. And this is rotating and scaling. Cute! The cat's next victim to sit on, right? It looks like the cat's watching the duck, and it's perfect. Drink something again? Alright. I drank my tea. There you go. Thanks for the redeems. There's other stuff here. Other scenery. There's a swing. There's a cupcake. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's a fence. That's cute. Okay, we're gonna flip it over. We could put that flower on the front. Can I put a sticker on the front? Oh, you can't put stickers on the front, Sag. Alright, so now I need a stamp. Let's do... I'm gonna do the cute Shiba one. Cute! Look at this stamp! Oh, you can't see it! I'm in the way! Oh, I can't scroll. One sec. You guys have to see this cute snail. It's like a cat snail. There we go. Hubba, you're in the way too. Look at it! Cozy snail. He looks like a kitty. Oh my god, somebody ate that gingerbread man. How could they? It's terrible. Rude. So rude. Can't believe it. Muda? Stop redeeming that. You don't want to drink my tea that fast. Also, it has a limit, so you'll exhaust them all before stream ends. He's a special snail. He's a cat snail. He's catting around. Alright, and then we stick it in the envelope. Put the postcard inside the envelope. Make sure it sits snugly, okay? Ooh. Close the envelope, click the flap, or press C to fold it shut. Use the tape machine to seal the flap. A neat strip and a safe trip. Oh. Oh, that Twitch blurred that for me. Wait, blurred what? What are you talking about? What got blurred? We have to pick which tape to use. We're gonna use the cats. Because why not? What are these dots for? Okay, where do I put the tape? Is it here? I don't know how it works. Wait. Wait, I don't understand. I'm already confused. Put the postcard snugly inside. You then use the tape machine to seal the flap. When you're done, press the mailbox button to send the envelope. Okay. But how do I use the tape? Oh, I see. I had to go over the dot. Oh! Click the mailbox icon to send the envelope and complete the order. You can pick different envelope looks and tape styles later on. Hi, Rosa! You bonked me! You bonked me. Ow. Ow. Why you bonk me? Why you bonk? This girl's in my way. Oh, I just had to click it. Okay, so now we click the mailbox. Oh, there you go. First design! Complete your first postcard design. This looks wonderful! Exactly what I had in mind. Is it, though? Mailed! You're back in the customer scene. Watch their speech bubble for feedback on your postcard. If you match their order details, they'll say something happy like, just what I wanted. If not, you might hear, this isn't what I asked for. Use their comment to improve next time. Okay. I guess that's more cozy than drag the tongue over the envelope. Just the envelope, right? Drag tongue minigame would hit hard. I'll be sure to send it today. Thank you so much. The customer pays for the order and leaves the shop. Nice work. When the last order is completed, the summary panel appears. It shows today's orders and earnings. Press next to finish your shift and move to the map. $100? Damn! I'm in the wrong fucking business. $100 for a postcard? You're on the map. First stop is the stationery. We'll need supplies. Ooh, stationery. Where do I apply for this job, right? That's what I'm saying. Welcome to the stationery. First, restock your supplies. Okay. Ooh. Mystery stamps. We have a ton of money. Stamp pack time. Click the pack to open it. Ooh. Ooh, it's like a TCG cards. With possibility of cutting your tongue on the envelope, right? Ooh, we got the snail cat! And a fat duck. A stamp sheet pops out. Peel one stamp at a time, then drag and drop it into the collection box. When all stamps are placed in the collection box, the pack screen closes automatically. Okay. Done at stationery? Return to that. No! I want to buy more things! Oh, I already bought a stamp pack. We have a ton of money. I just want to buy everything. Alright, how do we return to the map? Oh, right here. The tape is for if you cut your tongue. The duck. Yeah, the duck's cute. Find your home and click the door. The end of the day panel will appear. Oh, I can't go anywhere. Shop. House. Oh, okay. On the end of the day panel, pay your expenses and review today's results. Press next day to end your day and move to the next morning. Okay. Buy the house for $100,000. We have $1 in rent and $3 in other. So we gotta do that. Having more than 3 unpaid bills will end the game. Oh. Okay, good to know. It's a new day. From the map, click the shop to start work. Alright. Tutorial complete. Explore the shop to unlock new assets and stamp packs, take on orders, and let tiny memories sail the world. Happy designing. Okay. Yeah, if I click, can I click the cat? Guys, I can pet the kitty. It's so cute. Ooh, what is that? Just seeing if there's any other stuff I can click on. Tea. Lamp. Turn my head for a second. There's a kitty. Bring. Bring. Why? Quests. Discover a new stamp. Complete your first postcard design. Oh. Wait, the quests are like the achievements, I'm assuming? Kind of what it looks like. Ooh, I get prizes! I don't know what I'm looking at. What is this? Mushroom. Are these stickers? Well, they must be stickers. They are stickers! Okay. A window? Another blanket? Cool. What's in this one? Oh, look at the melting snowman! Wait, he's so cute! That is exactly her aggressive purr. Bring! Oh, spoopy house. Where's Belle? Where's the beast? I found his flower. A bush. Unlock 10 new assets in a single day. Done. Nori? Oh, it's a sheet of seaweed. Oh, and we got another one because we got a... What's this one? Door. Diamond. Rectangle. Lilith. Who's Lilith? We have her, whoever she is. Another flower. Oh, it's a lamp. That's cute. Alright, that's that. Alright, maybe something inspired by... You said just a photo, but the mushrooms demand a whole photo shoot. Okay. They want outdoor scenery and plants. Okay. Let's do it. We're gonna do the fall design again. And this time, let's do the autumn background. Let's do camping. Do camping. And look, there's a campfire. That's a huge fire. Doesn't need to be that big. Something about mushrooms. Some mushrooms over here. Maybe they're growing on this hill. Put some more. Oh wait, I can duplicate them. Let's try that. Duplicate. And then we can rotate some of them. Flip. They're all growing on this hill back here. Yeah, sure. Why not? Let's put this bush here. And then I'm going to click on the tent and say order up. Order up. There we go. It took it a second. I'm gonna flip this bush. Oh, not that. I'm gonna click the bush and flip it around. Yeah, and then... none of those trees really make sense. So I'll do this tree. But I'm gonna make it really big. So you can still see the mushrooms back there. The mushrooms watch you sleep, be aware, right? Oh, spoopy. Spoopy mushrooms. Is there anything else in here? Oh, there's a pond. There's a cloud. What else we got? A moon and a sun and another cloud. Put a cloud, some clouds up here. There we go. Yeah, I think that's kind of cute. What do you guys think? You like it? Alright, let's get a stamp on this baby. Oh, I wish I had this one. Oh, you can't see it. Wait. Look at this cute mushroom guy. Wish we had him for this. That would have been cute. So cute. Right? It would have matched so good. I'm gonna use the snail. We're gonna use this snail on this one. Deserve a photo shoot, right? Alright, and then we put it into envelope. And we tape it shut. What? I think that's a bug. I think that might be a bug, guys. Just a little. Just a little bit of a bug. I don't think it's supposed to do that. Oh, do I have to cut it? Wait, what do I use this cutter for? Is it to cut the tape? Oh, it is to cut the tape. Okay. Oh, because you can tape it all crooked. I didn't know that. Wait. Don't do that. There we go. That's better. The stickers are alive. I know. Don't mind the stickers hanging off the postcard. It'll be fine now. That'll be $100, right? Bruh. There you go. It looks wonderful. Exactly what I had in mind. Perfect. Thank you so much. You're welcome. Oh, hello. I love a postcard that captures this scene. We swore this Christmas would be calm, but chaos still found the cookies. Oh. All right. Wait, I want to buy stuff in the shop. Where's the Christmas stuff? We need, not stickers, postcards. Oh, those are the ones I've done. How do I buy stamp? That's the stamp collection. How do I get more postcard backgrounds? I have to buy those from the store. Oh, right here. Yeah. Christmas one. Wait, how do I buy it? Hello? Buy! Nothing's happening. Hello? Store? Cookies, gimme! I like cookies. Oh, you have to press the money. Oh, my bad. And envelopes. We don't really have a Christmas envelope. I'll get this green one. Do you have Christmas tape? No, there's not really any Christmas tape. What tape should we get for a Christmas one? Maybe this green plaid? Let's see, is there like a wintry? There's a winter background. I think I'll wait though. I'll probably use one of the indoor ones that we already have, like this one, because we have some windows we could use. Okay. Full food Christmas. No pets! Oh. That's no fun. Why does she want no pets? Alright, we're gonna use the Christmas themed one. And let's see. Christmas. Let's do background. I'm gonna do this one. And then we're gonna do the window. It says snowy. And just unlock $22. Oh, you can unlock stuff like that too, huh? Food. Where's the furniture? What is this? Shelf. End table. Pedro? Who's Pedro? Do. Kitty. I was looking for... What was I looking for? Raccoon song? What's that? I'm old. I don't know what things are. Let's see. What else do we want to put in here? We have a Christmas tree. We don't have a tree on. We can unlock it for $28. Let me put our snowman in here and give him a hat. He's an indoor snowman. And you know what? He needs like a little table for his hot chocolate. Ooh, tea. Sandwich. Sandwich! Alright, we need a table. Shelf. We just have this little table. You know what? That'll work. Let's use this little table. And then we'll put a hot chocolate. That's a huge hot chocolate. I want to make my snowman bigger. And then his hat also has to be bigger. And I'm going to rotate my hat. There we go. That's cute. And there's like a stocking. Hang the stocking on the wall. Make it smaller. we could, and then we can duplicate it. Duplicate it. They're hanging on the wall back there. That's cute. Does it feel like Christmas? There's not really any fall decorations in here I want to use. He's a sugar man. They did say something about chaos, so maybe we'll put this pumpkin in here. Because why not? He's gonna hang out with you. Sure. And in the envelope. There we go. And then we close it. Oh wait, I never put a stamp on it. Wait, go back. Oh. No, I moved my snowman. Flip it. We gotta put a stamp. I almost forgot. We know it has a Christmas stamp. We'll do the pumpkin kitty. Sure, why not? Okay, now we're gonna go over here. The stamp. And then we're gonna stick it in the envelope. And then we seal the envelope. Oh, we want to use a green envelope. There we go. Tape. We're gonna use this plaid tape. There we go. Fabulous. This looks wonderful. Exactly what I had in mind. I'm sure it is. I'll be sure to send it today. Thank you so much. Okay. So we only had 2 customers today. $200. Wow. We're rich. Alright. Time to go restock. Stamps! Oh! There's a Christmas one! Curse this game. We got 2 kitties. That's cute. Stamp enthusiast. Alright, we need some more tape. What happens if I do restock? Oh, that wasn't that much money. There we go. Should I buy another stamp pack? Let's do it. This is the gambling! Oh, no new ones. Sad. Alright, let's go. I guess now we go home. We pay our bills. $10 for groceries. I wish it was that cheap. Next day. Kitty. I'd love a postcard that captures this scene. You swore those cookies tasted better in the shade, and maybe they did. Damn. Okay. Bro's sassy. So we got sweets, plants, summer, and no fall. No fall anything. Okay. We gotta go here first. Snail sticker. Same. I'm lucky if I can get a weekly grocery run for 40 bucks, right? Cutting board. A mushroom. A book. A hydrangea. Look at our stamp collection. It's growing. They want summer. Is there a summer background? Greenery background. Let's buy this one. Cookies. He talked about cookies specifically. We have some blankets. We need a picnic basket. Let's do the pink one. Okay. Alright, guy, you're gonna have the cutest picnicky type card ever. For the stamp, let's do this cat. No, let's do let's do the Shiba. Alright. Backgrounds. We want to do this one. Lucky, lucky. And plants. Let's do some of these hyacinth. Hyacynthesis. Put them here, and then I'm gonna make this one smaller. Because that totally makes sense. Okay, is it here? Yeah, I'm gonna need this plate. And... where's the basket I bought? It wasn't green. What color was it? Wait, I bought a basket. Where is it? Stinky stinkers. We'll get this teacup and cookies and a cupcake, because why not? And we'll get our tree that we use all the time. It just frames the scenery really nice. I'll put it up here. Oh yeah, we also had a blanket. Where's the picnic blanket? Summer. It said that I had blanket stickers. I wonder what the 951 on the bottom left means. Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Because there's also a postcard like taped to the desk that has a number on it, but I don't know what the number means. Ooh, this camera is cute. There's gonna be an ad starting soon, just so you guys know. Where in the heck is this stuff I unlocked that I can't find? That's actually crazy. I think there's still some bugs in this game, maybe. Because I definitely unlocked a picnic basket. And I definitely unlocked some blankets, some picnic blankets. And now I can't get to them for some reason. They're not here. So that's kind of frustrating. I want to order this to the back. Alright, and then we gotta make this plate smaller. We gotta make this cookie way smaller. And then we gotta duplicate it. Doop 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 doop. There we go. And then we gotta make the cupcake smaller. And then we have this giant cup of tea. There's one. Let's duplicate it. What is this? Change color. Oh, interesting. Yes! I didn't know I could do that. That's cool. Well, that's kind of cute. Did I do anything out of here? I don't think I did. Let's do some clouds. We could put a turtle. Let's put a turtle. It's hanging out back here. Why not? Let's do more clouds. Oh no. There we go. And let's flip it. So they're not exactly the same. Okay. That's pretty cute. Did I do a stamp already? I did. To the envelope. To the pink one. Stick it in there. Close it. Oh no, I don't want to do green. Ew. I want to do these ones. There we go. Perfect. This looks wonderful. Exactly what I had in mind. Yeah, it is. Bet your ass it is. I'll be sure to send it today. Thank you so much. You better. Oh, you're cute. Maybe something inspired by... We said dinner, but it turned into an all-night wrapping paper war. Okay. I don't know what that means. She wants food and Christmas and no animals and no nature. Wait, is this food? I think that's like tableware or something. Turkey! Nom 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 nom. This feels like kind of a Christmas one. So I'm gonna use the gingerbread man. And we're gonna be... What is this? Mars. Okay. We'll be in a tatami room. And... Oh, kitchen and tables. That's what that is. Let's have 2 windows. I have 2 windows. I'm gonna unlock this Christmas tree. We got our Christmas tree here. Did they like suffocate each other in wrapping paper? I don't know. Hi, Izzy. I'm gonna put the Santa hat on the Christmas tree. Cause I can. There we go. It's cozy. We'll put this stocking on the wall. Then we'll duplicate it. Hi, Giga. Good morning. Afternoon. Good afternoon. How are you today? It is now afternoon here as well. Let's go. Very busy morning with house and shopping. Oh, okay. I've been busy today too. I got up this morning and I so we could put up 30 stockings if we wanted. There's no limit as far as I know. More loot, you know, right? I did some cleaning this morning before stream. Started laundry, all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna give my snowman a hot chocolate. Because why not? It's kind of a big... There you go. You have a hot chocolate, bro. Where is this blanket? We're gonna pretend this blanket is wrapping paper. Okay? It's wrapping paper. All the adult stuff and not the fun, right? Yeah, I did some cleaning. We're hosting Thanksgiving at our house this year, so I have a lot of cleaning up to do because our house is a freaking disaster right now. We're in the process of like moving a lot of rooms around so we can do renovations, so we can get our house up for sale next year. So our house is like kind of in disarray while we've been moving things around. And also my in-laws moved out, which was kind of nice. So, yeah. We have a lot going on right now. Alright, what do you guys think? Do you like my Christmas scene? Oh, man. There's a fireplace! Dang it. Wait, we could change the color of one of these socks. Oh, we can't. Never mind. Just kidding. This one we can change the color. I'm gonna keep it red though, because it's Christmas. Christmas! That sounds like a lot. There's been a lot going on. It's actually one of the reasons why I took like 6 months off from streaming, because I just had a lot of stuff going on at the time. And while it really broke my heart to take a break from streaming for that long, I really needed to just take something off my plate for a while, you know? But it's been really great to be back. I'm really enjoying being back to streaming again. The introvert urge to run away to the forest during Thanksgiving is real, right? That poor snowman isn't going to survive hot chocolate with a snow body. It's fine. He loves it. Look it. He's blowing on it. He's blowing on it to cool it off. That makes sense. Only have beans for something. Exactly. Yes. My family always goes to a different state, so I get to relax, not so much for Christmas. Ah. Alright. Let's put this baby in an envelope. Did I remember a stamp? Oh, I did. Okay. So we're gonna put him in the envelope. Let's do a green envelope for Christmas. And then for tape. There's no Christmas tape. Pink plaid? No, we'll just do the green plaid again. Close the envelope. Close the envelope. And we tape it shut. Just like that. And we send it on its way. Postcard designer. Gimme. Yeah. We like the gambling part of this game. Oh my god, look at how cute! Yeah, I actually don't mind hosting holiday stuff. I don't have a whole lot of family left at this point. Like, my cousins that I'm closest to are out of state, so I don't see them. And then as far as like my older relatives, a lot of them are gone. So when I do host stuff, it's very small. We don't have a lot of people. It's mostly like my mom and her friends is actually who comes over for like Thanksgiving and Christmas and stuff. So it's kind of nice. It's pretty small and like chill, and we'll watch the football game and eat food, and it'll be cool. Ooh, that's cute. A snowflake. A seashell. A door. Oh, that's it. Okay, we're done. All right, another customer. I'll be sure to send it today. Thank you. Oh, no, we only get 2. Okay. $200 for 2 postcards. That's crazy, yo. Wait, we can go buy stamp packs. Right? That's what I said. That's exactly what I said, actually. That's so funny. All right, this is the best part of this game so far, I think. Is you open these mystery packs of stamps. Cute! We got a new one. These 2 are new. And on your little iPad thing back at the store, you have like a stamp collection. So you're like collecting the stamps. Let's buy another one. We got more new ones. We got the mushroom guy. Oh, ain't that scary kitty? Look at her. She's gonna take over the world. Discover 10 new stamps. One more time. Gambling. Just a normal kitty. That kitty looked kind of evil, honestly. What's going on with his heart? What's going on with that? That one's cute. The Sheba, the Russian doll. Okay. Oh, you can't see. There's a bunny statue behind my head. It's cute. Alright, and then we go home. We pay our bills. Apparently we had to repair something, and our rent went up $2. Terrible. We can buy our house for $100,000. A new day. I have to go to work. Oop. Alright. So what do you guys think? It's a pretty cute game, right? It's pretty fun. Moving to wherever this game takes place, right? 10 out of 10 would eat it. Alright, so I have 2 game codes to give away for this game. If anybody wants to check it out. It is pretty cute. Pretty simple, pretty basic. It does seem like there's maybe a couple of bugs they need to work out still. But it just came out yesterday. It's pretty new. But yeah. Pretty cute. So, I'm gonna do the giveaway. I have 2 codes to give away. Where is this? So, if you guys want to win this game for free, you're gonna type game in the chat to enter. It's completely free, so it doesn't matter if you know, if you get it and you decide maybe you didn't really like it, no big deal. It was free. Oh, not exclamation point game, just game. You just type game in the chat and you get this game for free. Chance to win. One second. Why is it not showing everybody? Next. Next. Done. Hi! Hi, Bo! Why is this not showing everybody, though? I need to refresh. Hold on a second, guys. Okay, you guys type the word game in chat if you want to enter to win. Moody, you have to do it again. You'll win a game code for this really cute game where you design postcards. And you buy, like, new stickers and you collect stamps and whatever. It's very cute. So if you want a chance to win, type game in chat right now. Do it. Everybody do it. It's free. If you don't like it, it doesn't matter. It was free to play. Just do it. It's this really cute game right here called Carefully Stamped. It's a game where you design postcards for customers. And then you use the money you get from designing the postcards to buy stickers, and you collect different stamps, and you decorate the postcards with the stickers and stuff. And the customers will tell you, like, I want this kind of thing on there, but I don't want this kind of stuff on there. So it's that kind of thing. And then you collect stamps. You go to the store and you restock your supplies, and you can buy a stamp pack, kind of like when you buy like Pokemon cards. And you open up the pack and it's a surprise every time. It's always a mystery pack, and you get stamps and you collect stamps. There's like a little thing on the iPad where you can see your stamp collection. It's really cute. I have 2 codes to give away. So if you guys want to enter to win this game, Carefully Stamped. It is. It's really cute and cozy. The stickers and stuff are super cute. I've been playing it for the last like hour, so it was really easy to pick up and just start playing too. It seems like it's really cute and cozy. It'd be really good if you have a youngster. It'd be a good game for them to play. There's 2 modes. There's the regular mode where the customers tell you what they want and what they don't want. And then there's the creative mode where you can just make them whatever card they want and they're just gonna like it no matter what, basically. But for me, the funnest part was opening the stamp packs and getting the stamps. I thought that was the most fun. It's like gambling. Let's go gambling! There's still time to enter if you want to enter.